for many, many years. And a lot of people, a lot of elected officials, both Republicans and Democrats in D.C., they just ignore these folks. They're not doing anything to really make life better or to vindicate the losses by saying it's not going to happen again. We just feel differently about this. We think, our angel parents need to be heard from, and we need to make sure that we're reforming in ways so that doesn't happen anymore in the future. And so joining us is Kiyan Michael. She's now a Florida state representative that just got elected in November, but I got to know her when we were doing our efforts to combat illegal immigration in Florida way back in 2019 with the ban on sanctuary cities. And she carried our most recent bill to curb illegal immigration in the state and has really been a champion for this issue because it's very personal to her. So she's going to share her story with you right now.
Well, thank you so much, Governor. And I am here mainly because I know firsthand what happens when we do not secure our border. Unfortunately, what propelled me to run for State House was because I knew the borders were going to be left wide open. And because of what happened to our family in 2007, August 15th, our son, Brandon Randolph Michael, all the way in Jacksonville, Florida, which would not have been considered a border city or town, but because the failures here didn't stop and the laws were not upheld, we are now having big issues across the United States. Brandon was 21 years old. He was on his way to go cash his paycheck, and he should have been safe in his own city as all Americans. You should be safe where you live. You should be safe where you work. When a twice deported illegal that came in through the southern border crashed into our child. And I can tell you as a mother, it's the worst thing. As parents, it's the worst thing you can ever hear. He was given only 2 years. We had to go through a lengthy trial. He was only given 2 years of jail time and now deported for the third time. And he's probably back in the United States. And that propelled me to not only speak out, but to have a governor by my side from the very beginning. You know, as angel parents, we get tired of hearing we're going to do something, and nothing happens. But Governor DeSantis sat down back in 2019, and he sat across the table with sheriffs, looking us in the eyes and listening to our story. He wanted to hear from us what happened, and I could see that he actually cared. And we could tell a difference, all of us, when people are real and when they're just talking. This man is real, and I can tell you as a mother, as a parent, it has been just phenomenal for us. You've brought healing to our family. You have stood when others have sat down, and I can tell you it takes boldacity, if that's a word, to do what you have done in the state of Florida, to stand up, and I can say everything that you told us you were going to do, you have done it. And I thank you for that, because as angel parents, as parents, period, we are not going to stop going after securing our nation and preventing this from happening to somebody else. So to have the honor to now serve in the House, but I'll always be the number one thing, and that's Brandon's mom. And I speak for other angel parents, and I thank you for what you're doing. We need you as president. We need you to stand for us, and I know you will, and I know you have. But there is nobody else that's going to fight like this governor fights. There's nobody else who means what he says and says what he does and means it. There's nobody else that's going to stand for every American and making sure that you're safe other than Governor DeSantis. And I thank you for having me. Thank you for standing by our family. Thank you for listening. Thank you that I saw the tears in your eyes. You probably didn't know this. As a father, I could see it, that you really cared. And I saw the strength of a man that was a man of conviction, but also as governor, that you would not back down from anybody. And that's what we need as leadership in this nation. And we're blessed to have you. Now we get to share you with the rest of the U.S. So God bless you. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak.
You know, one of the things that I think was, and I've been involved in this issue, we sent people to help Texas in 2021. We've sued Biden on catch and release in Florida, and it's been an issue we've been dug in on. And we obviously understand a lot of the really negative impacts to our society. But I'll tell you, just having been here, talking to folks, listening to their stories, I mean, to have you own property down here and in the middle of the night you got 10 people banging on your window at 2 in the morning who had just come across the border illegally, how many Americans in other parts of the country would ever be willing to just tolerate that if that was happening in your communities? Of course you wouldn't do that. How many mothers have had to bury loved ones every day that can throw you off course if you let it? We're not going to do that. We know where north is, and we're going to get it done.